and to be able to be myself every day, my authentically Black self every single day, teaching what I love, mentoring students who look like me, and being able to keep it 100% real. That is living the dream.
From the Office of Institutional Advancement and Alumni Relations, this is Xavier Gold Live, the podcast highlighting stories of leadership, impact, and the Xavier spirit.
Welcome to Xavier Gold Live, your front row seat to the stories of Xavier alumni transforming passion into purpose. I'm Jamya Stewart, a psychology major exploring the world of mass communication as my minor, hailing from the great city of Chicago, Illinois.
And I'm Amaya Sanford, a proud mass communication major from the Atlanta, Georgia. Together, we're committed to uncovering the stories, legacies, and lived experiences that continue to shape Xavier University.
Can somebody cue up All I Do Is Win real quick? Because let me tell y'all, we have been winning at Xavier University these past few weeks.
Winning, more like glowing. That Centennial Gala alone, come on now, we did not come to play.
That's right. We just wrapped up one of the most historic stretches in Xavier's legacy. Centennial Gala? Check. Commencement? Check. And the Golden Class of 75? They're back on campus and reliving their Jubilee celebration in full spirit. I think that's a double check.
And don't forget the chills we all felt during the unveiling and permanent placement of a statue on campus honoring President Emeritus Dr. Norman C. Francis, an icon honoring an icon. That moment was pure gold. Dr. Francis, the man, the myth, the mission. Seeing that statue go up during our centennial year, that was more than just inspirational. It was powerful.
In commencement, it was a full-on celebration. From our newest graduates, including familiar faces like former host Tashaya and members of the Pre-Alumni Council walking with pride, to the golden grads of the class of 75, exemplifying faith and lifelong success, it was a powerful, multi-generational Xavierite takeover. Now let's reel it in a little, as we've got one more little power move coming up in June.
You already know what time it is.
Drum roll, please. The Alumni Leadership Conference is back, and it's happening June 19th through the 22nd right here in the city of New Orleans. This conference is all about empowering our alumni, sharing best practices for chapter leadership, exploring volunteer opportunities, and opening conversations around mission, faith, and the future of Xavier University of Louisiana.
Whether you're a seasoned alum, new to the network, or just looking to reconnect and recharge your Xavier fire, this conference is where you want to be.
At Xavier, the mission doesn't end at graduation. It grows with us. Professional development isn't just about moving up. It's about staying rooted in purpose, leading with integrity, and showing up for our communities just like Xavier teaches us. We've got dynamic sessions, meaningful engagement, and a whole lot of Xavier love waiting on you. And hey, don't say we didn't help you out. To register and lock in your discounted hotel room, just check out the links in our show notes. We've got the link ready for you, so don't sleep on it. Secure that spot and come vibe with us, because when Xavierites come together, it's always something special.
And if that's not enough XULA and you're looking to set sail this summer, August 3rd to the 10th, we're heading to Martha's Vineyard for culture, connection, and pure Xavier energy. We're talking polar bear aerobics, fireside chats, a movie screening of Dr. Francis' documentary, a purpose-driven alumni mixer, and a New Orleans-style brunch, all with space to soak in the island's rich culture. Whether you remember walking down Palmetto or now know it as Drexel Drive, this is your time to reconnect, reminisce, and celebrate your inner Xavier spirit. And that's the golden standard, y'all. We're celebrating 100 years of excellence, and we're just getting started.
Keep shining, stay connected, and always remember, once a Xavierite, always a Xavierite.
On this episode, we welcome Dr. Sharlene Sinegal-DeCuir, an esteemed historian and professor who is dedicated to amplifying African American history and advocating for social change. She embodies Xavier's legacy of leadership through her work in community outreach, education, and scholarship, leading the African American and African Diaspora Culture Studies program while mentoring the next generation of leaders.
Dr. Sharlene Sinegal-DeCuir is a historian, educator, and advocate for African American history and social justice. She is the Keller Family Endowed Professor of History and chair of the African American and African Diaspora Cultural Studies major at Xavier University of Louisiana. With a PhD in American history from LSU, she specializes in African American and Latin American history. Her work explores the New South, the Civil Rights Movement, and Black activism in Louisiana. She has been featured on MSNBC, the New York Times, and various media outlets, bringing historical insights to public conversations. A published scholar, her research highlights Black Catholic activism and civil rights history. Dr. Sinegal-DeCuir is a leader in historical organizations and has secured major grants to advance African American studies. An award-winning educator, she is passionate about mentoring students, preserving Black history, and caring for Xavier's legacy of academic excellence and social justice. Dr. DeCuir, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you guys so much for having me. I'm excited.
Let's jump right in. So my first question for you is, what inspired you to specialize in African American and Latin American history, and how has that focus shaped your career?
So when I was at LSU, I wanted to get my PhD in African American studies. They did not have a program like that. So I pivoted and I became an American historian. So my PhD is in American history with a concentration in African American history and also Latin American history. And I was very interested in African American history as a student here at Xavier. At Xavier, we had an African American studies program that you could minor in. And I remember going into one of my first classes and being taught by an African American person African American history. And I was like, oh my God, I didn't know any of this stuff. And so it just really sparked a passion in me, and that I knew that's what I wanted to get into. I knew I wanted to learn more about our history, and I knew that I wanted to bring that to African Americans so that they could learn as well the things that I didn't know when I was an undergrad.
So since you said speaking more on learning more about our history, and you even teach about our history, you've served on several boards and committees, including the Louisiana Endowment for the Humanities and the Louisiana Supreme Court Historical Society. How do you feel these experiences help your teaching and your research now?
So those are some of my service experiences, and at Xavier, we have to have service. The university, it's really big on having its professors perform service in the image of St. Catherine Drexel. And so those two are the local organizations that I am a part of. I'm chair of the Hills Foundation John Scott Center as well. And John Scott was a professor at Xavier for over 40 years, MacArthur genius, and he has his sculptures all around campus. So I'm the inaugural chair of that as well. I'm also the chair of the 40th anniversary LEH Bright Lights Dinner. We're going to be honoring Dr. Francis as Humanist of the Year for the state of Louisiana, and I'm the first African American female to chair that, and I'm very excited.
Yeah.
Nationally, I've been in the American Historic Association, which is the largest organization for historians in the nation. And I've worked on the initiative to bring more HBCU and African American people into that organization, which is predominantly white male-based. So I started out as Committee of Minority Historians, just bringing in the Black perspectives and what we need in an organization like that, how they can serve us and our students. And then I was in that organization for quite a while. I moved up to the nominating committee on that committee, and then I eventually chaired it. And I was the person who nominated the first African-American female to ever be the president of the organization since its inception. So I'm very proud of, all of the accomplishments, but I really do it all. It's the service that I have to perform at Xavier. And that is what inspires me to do that kind of service and to even kick it out to not only just a local, but a national level.
So as an African-American woman who graduated from Xavier, a HBCU, how do you view, as a first for a lot of things, how do you view your role in caring for Xavier's legacy of academic excellence and social justice? And what do you hope future generations will take from your work as not only a pioneer of first, but also as a professor?
I just hope they go and press on and pass it forward, right? Just like what Sister Catherine Drexel, Reverend Mother Catherine Drexel Saint said to us, the words that she has given us, just press forward, you know? And so I feel like I'm living that mission, and I just want others to come behind me to continue to live that mission. And right now, that's just why I do it, right? It's just that simple, I think.
Xavier writes, I am super excited to announce that the National Alumni Association Veterans Infinity Group is opening its doors and building something so powerful. They're currently holding a membership drive for all military veterans who attended or graduated from Xavier. That's right, it's your time to reconnect, get involved, and help shape the future.
Their mission is all about connection and purpose, supporting Xavier, building relationships between alumni and student veterans, offering mentorship, and creating scholarship opportunities for both undergrad and grad students. And of course, it all ties back to our founding mission and the legacy of St. Catherine Drexel.
If you want to learn more or join the group, check the show notes, because like always, we got the hookup for you.
So speaking of your time here at Xavier, after looking into your profession and the major influence that you've made beyond Xavier's campus, we'd love for you to take a blast from the past and relive your experience with us. So, the year is 1995. Montel Jordan just dropped This Is How We Do It. What was New Orleans and Xavier like from your best recollection at this time?
Oh my goodness. So when I first came to campus, it was popping, like for real. I remember in 1995 coming on campus. I'm from Lafayette, so that's 2.5 hours away. And I had fun in New Orleans. Like, we first came to New Orleans, we can still drink alcohol. The legal age was not 21 at the time.
That
so
is
it was
insane.
18. I know, right?
God.
And we had fun on the yard. Like, we had fun. We would go to the A&P store, which is across the street over there. I think that's where the Dollar General is, right?
Oh,
and we would buy Boone's Formula 2 for $5 and just drink it like it was a 40. I mean, I don't know if I should be saying this, but
It's your experience.
we had a good time. And the parties were amazing. They had all, the fraternity parties. The Omegas had a party, I swear, every weekend. Kappas had their little parties here and there. And it was an experience. I remember this one time, and I tell the story all the time. It's hilarious. We were going to this Kappa party. Kappa party was full, right? So fire marshal had shut it down because everybody wanted to go to this party. So me and my girlfriends, we come back on campus and we're like, we want to do something. So we just start walking down Washington. And there happens to be a club called Mr. Biggs. So we go in there, it costs like $10. We thought, man, that's a lot of money, right? We get in and they're like, clear the floor. We have a special performance. And we like, what the heck is going on, right? We're surrounded by all these people with like gold teeth and we're like, we're Xavier women, okay? And so we get in and clear the floor and introducing Cash Money. They're the new people that's popping in New Orleans, and it was it was Lil Wayne. It was, I mean, when I say all of them before they became Cash Money millionaires, dropping for the 99 and the 2000, we were in there, and I was like, there's some ghetto stuff. I said, I don't care if I spend $10. We got to get out of here. Child, I would have stayed. I could have been Lil Wayne baby mama.
And you just
I would have had a different life. Yeah. So that was so we had fun. We did. Now, I did my work. I literally went to school year round. I took summer school courses, 9 hours every, summer session, because I started out as a remedial student because I had test anxiety. So when I came to Xavier, I didn't even realize they was going to let me in. I had a high GPA, but came to Xavier, was in remedial courses, and my parents said, you have 4 years. So I had to make it work. So I was a year-round student. I was always here.
That's understandable. So did you ever imagine that as a student who was always here 4 years straight, you didn't go back home, you stayed here, you stayed down. Did you ever imagine as a student that you would one day return here as a professor and the department chair? And what has that full circle journey been like for you?
Never. Never in my wildest dreams. I did not know what my career path was, because when I graduated, I had changed my major to history and minor in English. And I had no plan. And I ended up going to LSU. I talked them into letting me into the graduate program, got my master's, got my PhD, and I got my PhD in 2009. Xavier had a job opening in May. I interviewed in June. July, I got the job. August, I was in the door, and I've been here for 15 years. So I remember the first time I was walking in the halls, and I worked with a lot of my professors that taught me at Xavier. They're now retired. And I was like, I never thought I would walk these halls again, especially not as a professor. I said, girl, you done made it.
Yes, exactly that.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of your time here at Xavier, what do you think it means to be a Xavierite in your own opinion?
Oh, my goodness. To be a Xavierite means community. It means a space where you can be yourself. Mm-hmm. And I'm just fortunate and blessed to be able to be back in that space and to be able to be myself every day, my authentically Black self every single day, teaching what I love, mentoring students who look like me, and being able to keep it 100% real. That is living the dream. Because if I were to be teaching at another university, and there have been other universities that have tried to poach me and get me here and there and whatever, but I always come down to it, and my husband says it too. Girl, you can't teach nowhere else, not the way you teach. I can't. I would be gone, right? So, but at Xavier, I'm able to teach the way authentically that I need to teach that reaches my students. Yeah. And that is it. Xavier's community. It's always been community, from a student to a professor. It's community.
Yes, I understand that. And I love that you're saying you're being authentically yourself, teaching authentically yourself. And I feel like a big part of Xavier's mission is to give back. So Xavier's mission emphasizes leadership and service rooted in social justice. So how was your journey from a Xavier student to a historian in profession embodied through those values?
I think, the mission of social justice, that alone, I wanted to come back and just teach the students that every space in America was made for you. Even though you may not feel like you're wanted there, you're needed there. You have to create, and like I said, if there is not a table for you to sit at, you create your own table, you create your own chair. You need to be in those spaces in order to create change. And that's, that's one of the reasons why I do this. I think that Xavier is supposed to be here in this time. It is supposed to have been here for over 100 years in order to build the community, to build the strength of the young adults so that they can go out and continue to spread the mission, continue to provide a humane society, continue to advocate for others who cannot advocate for themselves. And I believe that was the total mission of the SBS Sisters and St. Catherine Drexel. These ladies were pioneers. They were visionaries with, a direct line to God. I have been researching the history to write a part of the Centennial book. And the things that I've uncovered about these amazing ladies is phenomenal. I didn't even know. I'm in awe.
I absolutely agree with that. I think that Xavier as a whole, I feel like when alumni come back and they give back, that's all what where Xavier is about. It's about coming back. It's about serving the people who have served you, serve the community who have given so much to you. So my next question is, as someone who has seen firsthand the power of community engagement at Xavier, how can alumni be encouraged to reconnect and support the current students here?
Well, we just had the YMTF.
Yes.
So I would encourage everyone, class of 99, come back and share your stories with the students and be authentic in your stories. I shared several different stories this YMTF season, I guess, and I had so many students come up after me and give me hugs and just say, this is what we needed, because it's not always about presenting success. It's about learning how you got to that space. And I think students need to understand that you're here right now. You're sitting in this space, but you're not going to always be there. You got to work hard for these next 4 years. You got to work hard for maybe another 6 years after that, and your professional schooling, medical school, and whatever. So I say my thing is you work hard for 10 years, and then after that, you can do what you always dreamed of, and your life is going to be easy. You're going to follow your passion, and you're going to, all those things. And Xavier, I just love Xavier. I'm a first gen. I'm first gen, and Xavier changed the trajectory of my family. My son is 12. I'm able to provide information that I didn't know. He knows his history. He's traveled the world with me starting at 10, and I know that I would not be where I am today if it was not for Xavier.
I can agree to that. I think we can relate. I'm also a first-gen student, so I know exactly how it feels to have that weight of everybody at home depending on you, waiting for you to come back with that Xavier degree. I feel like that is just so important, and I feel like that is really deep, and I'm glad you expressed that about yourself. So as a first-gen student, how do you think Xavier prepared you to go out into the real world without those tools that you didn't necessarily have coming in?
Xavier gave me confidence, and that's what it is, because I was prepared, but I wasn't prepared for some of the settings that I was in. At LSU, I left my Xavier bubble, which was the black space, and I went into an all-white space. All white males taught me. I was in classes with white males. But Xavier gave me the confidence to say, I'm supposed to be here. Like, okay, you may not like me being here. You may not like what I'm saying, but I'm going to say it anyway. So it's the confidence that Xavier gave me to be who I am and to build on who I was going to become.
Amen to that.
Yes, and I definitely understand that. I honestly feel like seeing you gives us confidence, like what you said, coming back to speak. I think as a Xavier student, I feel like that's what we want to see the most. People coming back telling us about their journeys because we're going through it now. So I feel like it helps us keep the strength through our Xavier journey in itself.
Absolutely.
It is absolutely motivation. So now it's time to rush our wonderful gold guest into answering some rapid fire questions. This segment of the podcast is called our Live 5, and we're going to ask you 5 questions that we think our gold community would love to know.
Oh, awesome.
First question, what is one word to describe your Xavier experience?
Fun.
Fried fish Friday or fried chicken Wednesday?
Fried chicken Wednesday, girl.
Agreed. If you could relive one moment at Xavier, what would it be?
Ooh, oh my goodness. Oh, it would be the Miss Black and Gold pageant because I was in it and I didn't win.
What would you say was the most challenging part of being a student at Xavier in your era?
I think it was balancing everything. It was balancing the social life. It was balancing the rigorous work that the professors, gave to us at the time.
Last but not least, what is the biggest change that you have seen at Xavier since you've graduated?
Oh my goodness, the buildings.
We hear that a lot.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, yeah. When I left Xavier, the annex to the NCF was just being built. That was all green space.
Wow.
The barn, we had the barn there, which was right next to the library. The library had just been built. These dorms down at Xavier South, we had Xavier South, but we had warehouses flanking. We didn't have DePorres and Live and Learning Center right there. I mean, the chapel, that used to be where our old UC was, University Center.
Wow.
Where the University Center is now is where the art building was, which was a shack.
Oh, wow.
I mean, literally.
So it was compressed back
It was
then.
extremely compressed, and St. Joe's was a dormitory.
I've heard that,
so
yes.
we were like
on top of each other.
So just the buildings along, and when I have people that come back and they're like, hey, Sharlene, can you, my classmates, can you show us, what is going on? What is this building? And I'm like, child, they done changed everything,
I think that's really important that the buildings were like that, so close together. I think that's why a lot of alum come back, and they're so close.
Yeah.
You guys can relate to so much because you guys were literally living and doing everything with each other. I think now everybody's so spaced out. It's like we're on our phones. We don't know who. It's a lot going on.
Yeah, it is. It is a lot going on. And I suggest you put your phones down and you start talking to each other so that you can build community.
I hear that. I agree. It definitely sounds like y'all are much closer. I feel like we have a lot of people that live off campus and stuff now too. Did y'all have off campus?
I lived off campus all 4 of my years.
Oh, you did?
But I still built community because we didn't have cell phones like y'all did. We had pages.
Understand.
We didn't have all that. We have to talk to each other.
I know.
I understand. Well, again, it was a pleasure connecting with you, a fellow alum, through conversation. How can our growing gold community connect with you online?
Y'all can reach me online at ssenegal@xula.edu. Look me up in the history department or the AADS department. Click on my picture and you'll have all my information there. It's very easy because
Google.
You're
all over the place.
I'm here. I'm here. Okay.
Yes.
You can find me. I'm easily accessible.
Thank you so much, Dr. Sinegal-DeCuir. Thank you so much for your time.
XU, you know what to do.
Subscribe and rate the show today and join us, the Xavier Gold Live podcast, on the first Tuesday of every month to stay up to date with all things alumni.
Follow at XULA Alumni on Instagram and subscribe to our monthly alumni newsletter.
Until next time, Xavierites.